next speaker, Mr. Vrijraj Singh. He will next address us on Firebase for web or creating web solutions using Firebase. He is an agro tech lead by trade and passionate community promoter.
For 7 years, he was the coordinator of GDG Jalandhar and Google developer expert in Firebase and Web Technologies. He has given over 300 community talks and workshops in the past 5 years. So please give a huge round of applause for Vrijraj Singh.
Okay, so शुरुआत से start करते हैं. So, hi everyone. My name is Vrijraj. I'm a tech lead at ActProp. So, I'm a Google developer expert for the web and Firebase. And feel free to clapping whenever you feel. Okay. So, कितने लोग हैं यहाँ? How many of you are sleeping? Okay, cool. So, today in this talk, I'm going to talk about the 3 things. So first one is the state of the web in India, and then we'll talk about Firebase and how we can build the solutions with the help of Firebase. So talking about India, we have around 932 active million users are using internet over the 930 million devices. So we have a huge opportunity to build the solutions for the mobile, for the web platform. And talking about the web solutions, so web has endless possibilities. Like web is just like as a platform where we can share the informations. Information can be anything. It may be around the video file, audio file, or the text file. And you know how internet is working? So you can access this internet with the help of these submarine cables. And you can check out the web, submarinecablesmap.com, and here you can get the informations like how these internet is working on through different types of continents. So talking about web specifically, so web, if I talk about web solutions, so web has 3 core fundamentals like HTML, the website means we can create a website with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we can test our website with the help of browser. And then we have a server. So server is just like where we can test our website. And then we have a database where we can store our informations. It may be around structured informations or it may be around unstructured info. So in the market, we have 2 types of database like structured database or unstructured database. And then you can create a solutions. So web has a variety of infinite things. We can create a solutions and we can work on it. Like it may be around front-end developers or it may be around back-end or full-stack developer. So once you have decided your the things like whether you want to start your career in the front-end, back-end, or the data like full-stack, then you can start working on it and then, right? Okay, so let's say you have an idea. Idea है सबके पास स्टार्टअप का? कितने हैं कॉर्पोरेट से परेशान हो गए एकदम स्टार्टअप करना चाहते हैं बस? Okay, cool. So I guess let's suppose you have an idea about maybe any startup. You wanted to build the solutions, but you are a little bit confused about how to start. What type of technology I can select for the backend, or what type of database I can select. So there are multiple questions for the in our mind for the confusions. So once you have decided the technical stack, then you need to start working on the code part. It may be around front end, it may be around back end, it may be around the database designing part. So once we have designed the database applications, then there might be issues related to security, code implementations, right? Code phat gaya. This is a pain for the developers. And then, right? This is not a good thing for the developers whenever we are building a solutions and suddenly code phat jaye. And then we need to work on the code optimizations part. We need to work on the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or there are multiple languages that we are working on for building a solutions. But this is a kind of journey. When we are building a solutions, then we need to optimize, and then game over. And this is personal. Right? Okay, cool. So this is a personal things like whenever we are building a solution, so kabhi phas gaye, then kind of things. But we are engineers, so we are developers. So मैं झुकेगा नहीं. So we need to create a solutions at the end. So that's why Google has created a technology's name is Firebase. So with the help of Firebase, we can build anything. We just need to focus on the front end part. Firebase is a backend as a services. Like you just focus on the front end. Firebase is providing a lot of backend services. You can integrate and you can make the applications. So Firebase has a mission to help the developers succeed as they are providing a lot of backend services. So one of the best thing about Firebase is just like if you are working on mobile platform like iOS, Flutter, or any mobile platform, you can use Firebase. Or if you are working on web, game developer platform, you can use Firebase. So as I mentioned, like Firebase is a backend as a services. Like you just need to focus on the front end part, and you can use any backend services of the Firebase. So Firebase is a lot of services. So these services is categorized into the three main part. The first one is build better applications. So let's say if you want to create applications or the website or the web applications. So there are multiple things that First thing may be related to the authentications, where user need to authenticate the user, like as a developer. So there are multiple services like you can authenticate the user with, like with Firebase, there is a service Firebase Authentications. You can store data in terms of Cloud Firestore, the real-time database. There are multiple things. So once you have built the applications with the help of build better applications, then we can focus on how we can improve the app quality. So here we have a services like Crash Analytics, performance monitoring, test labs, and app distributions. And then once we have improved the quality, now we need to focus on the PESA, how we can engage with users. Like, you know, Zomato, advertise aate honge, notifications ke. So similarly, you can send a push notifications. There are multiple services you can get the user informations like analytics. There are multiple things that you can use to engage and grow your applications. So talking about specifically for the Firebase for web platform, so you can use these services like you can use Firebase authentication for authenticating your user. So there are multiple services. So let's start with the Firebase authentication part. So like if I talk about as a web point of view, whenever we want to make features like create user or sign up user or let's say login logout functionality for the website, we need to work on the lot of amount of code. It may be related to the database part, it may be related to the backend part. So we need to like store the informations of the user's password, credentials. There are multiple things. But if you are using Firebase, they are providing us some set of functionalities in terms of APIs or the methods they are providing. We just need to invoke those methods and we can easily like implement the authentication feature with the help of Firebase. So one of the best thing about Firebase authentications, like you can authenticate your user with n number of third-party service provider. Like you can apply authentications, like you can authenticate your user with Facebook, Google, Twitter, multiple things. Or you can even authenticate your user with mobile numbers. Like user will add their mobile number, they will get the OTP, and then you can authenticate the user. So this is a simple example. I'm using Firebase SDK 8. Like this is a JavaScript part. Here we can create a variables like let and const. So here we have a variables, email and password. And there is a function's name is create user with email and password. And inside these functions we'll pass email and password. And that's it. So this is how we can authenticate, means we can create account of the user with these services. So next, let's say we want to use the database part, like we have created a website, we need a database. So then we have a Cloud Firestore, which is a NoSQL database. It's very fast. It's a truly serverless architecture. Like you can store the informations in terms of collections, documents, and multiple things. And it's provide offline support. Well, let's say if you are out of the network, you can still access the informations with the help of applications. And as I mentioned, like this is a NoSQL database. Look, here we can store the informations like we can create a collections. Inside collections, we can have a documents, and then we can store the data. So For adding a data into the Cloud Firestore, we just need to invoke add method. For updating a data, then we need to invoke get method. So there are multiple methods that we need to invoke for accessing informations into the Cloud Firestore. And then sometime we need to create a very small scale solutions, or then we can use real-time database, which is again, it's provide offline support. We can store the information in terms of tree-like structure. Like if we are using Google Docs, so in the Google Docs, you will get the real-time informations about the users, like 2 users are accessing your Google Doc file. So this kind of applications we can build with the help of Firebase real-time database. So this is a simple example, like we have a JavaScript object, and for adding a data, we need to invoke set methods, and then we can do that. Next, once we have, let's say we have created a website where we have added Firebase authentication for the authenticating the user, and we can store the informations with the help of Cloud Firestore. Now we need to store the user profile picture or maybe PDF file or any file. So you can use Cloud storage for the Firebase. So here you can store image file, blob type of objects. You can do that, and it's totally scalable. You can apply security rules for the security purpose. And this is a simple example like how we can store the informations or the blob file into the cloud storage. So we have a put method inside, we can pass the file, and that's it. So then we have a services is like Firebase hosting, like anyone can create a website. Now we need to host our website. So here we have a Firebase hosting. You can host your website with 3 single lines of commands like Firebase init, deploy, and that's it. Or serve, you can testing. And your data will be stored over the SSD devices, and you will get free SSL certificate. And this is really, really very fast, and it's a free of cost hosting service provided by Firebase. Then sometime you need to create your custom business logic. If you want to create a custom business logic, then we have a services is like Cloud Functions. Here you can write up functions with the help of JavaScript or the TypeScript. And you can write anything like any business logic, you can do that with the help of Cloud Functions. So, and then we have a next services is like Firebase extensions, like it's a pre-built Cloud Functions. Sometimes we don't need to create some set of patterns, then we can use predefined Cloud Functions. Like whenever user is uploading an image file, then we need to resize the image file. So then we can call the Firebase extensions like image reduce, size reduce, text translations, and the multiple things. And then there is a service is called as cloud messaging for sending a push notifications. So hope you are getting a notifications from the Zomato, Swiggy. There are multiple things like your order is ready. So you can push notifications with the help of Firebase cloud messaging. And then we have a Firebase dynamic links. You can create a short URL, and you can like pass to the user to the exit URL or the pages to the page. You can do that with the help of Firebase dynamic links. So overall, you can create a like very fast applications with the help of Firebase. You can use these services like authentications, storage, database part, functions, extensions. There are multiple things. So within a I'm not sure like telling like within a millisecond, but yeah, within some sort of time period, you can easily create a very large scale solutions with the help of Firebase. So you can build anything with the help of Firebase. And thoda sa promotion, because I'm a GD for the Firebase. Thoda samajh lo. Okay. So yes, you can make anything with the help of Firebase. So I'll give you some simple example about the Firebase, like let's create a website for the event registration page. So for the event registration page, first we need to create a HTML page. Here we can create a HTML form like user email ID, name, password, and then we need to authenticate the users. Like first user need to authenticate and then they can see the form, and then they can fill the form. So we can apply a Firebase authentications. Here we can authenticate the user with, let's say, Google Auth or maybe anything. Once the user is authenticated, they fill the form, we need to store the user information. For that, we can use Cloud Firestore. So here we can store the user informations. once the user information is stored in the Cloud Firestore, we can send a push thank you mail to the users, like thank you so much for the registration. We will share the more informations about the event. So we can write that business logic with the help of Cloud Functions. And you can send a like confirmation mail, and we can host this entire solutions with the help of Firebase hosting. So this is a simple example like how we can use Firebase for the event registration page. It's totally up to you. You can work on any idea and you can build the solutions. So I hope you have enjoyed the talk. And for me, Firebase is one of the best platform. Like during my graduations, like I have created multiple solutions with the help of Firebase, and now there are wider communities who are using my applications for solving their problems. So it's like Firebase is पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर विश्वास करें. थोड़ा सा समझने में दिक्कत हुई. Okay, so to know more about Firebase, you can check out the link firebase.google.com. Here we have a documentations. You can select the platform and you can find the documentations. And there are multiple companies who are using Firebase, like Atlassian, Citrix, Envision. There are multiple companies who are using Firebase in many ways. Like some of the companies are using authentication, some are using database. You can check out the links. And for starting, how we can start working on the Firebase part, like you can follow the documentations. There is a code lab. You can check out bit.ly/codelab101. I have written multiple articles on the various services of Firebase, how we can integrate with web platform. You can check out me. I have a YouTube channel. You can check out Tech Ferment. Here we have a videos about the Firebase. And I guess कुछ मजा आया? समझ में आया ना? ऊपर से गया, टाइम चला गया. वर्क करोगे फायरबेस पे का पक्का? डील डन करें? पक्का? डील डन. ओके, बस यही सुनना था. थैंक यू सो मच. थोड़ा सा. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me the questions after the sessions, and I'll be there. And thank you so much. And yeah, bye.
Thank you, sir, for your comprehensive understanding and valuable insights on such an interesting topic.
Now I will request Pratik Kale sir to please come on stage and felicitate our speaker.